Another massive bonus for the CAD Manager in AutoCAD Mechanical 2010 is the content libraries on the Content tab on the ribbon. The library panel is here, so if I go to Content Libraries, for example, and I click here, it takes a few seconds to load up because there's plenty in there. If I look here, for example, I can scroll up and just get across here to the left. If I just minimize all of that for a moment, I've got features such as holes, tapped holes, external threads and slots. I've got fasteners, so we're talking screws and threads, nuts, washers and so on. There's pins there, rivets, even clevis pins if I need them. Shaft parts such as roller bearings, components and seals. I've even got steel shapes, so I can drop in something like an L shape, for example, and I'll go for an equal BS 4848 there, and I want the front view. So I want that there. I'll specify an insertion point in the drawing like that. I'll leave the rotation angle there at 0 by pressing enter, and I'll go for, let's say, a 100 by 15 like that, and click on next, and I'll say that the length of the section is actually 250 millimeters. So that will drop that now into my drawing, and there it is. I've even got, can you see the part symbol there, ready for my parts list of my bill of materials. Now I can actually add any of these to my favourites. So you can see there I've got my bolts and I've got a BS 3692 hex head already set up. If I click on that now, you can see there I click, and what I want there is, let's say, a particular view of that. So I click there and I want a side view of it, let's say. And I'm going to specify an insertion point with a shift and a right click and a midpoint snap on the steel section there. There's the midpoint. And the rotation angle, I'm going to come vertically downwards and click. And I'll go for an M10. And I'll finish that there. And that drops that into, as you can see, my section. Now I drag the size there, like so, and just click. Now if I select that bolt, I can click there and pick a standard length. So I go to length there, and I'll go for, let's say, let's have a look. Let's go for 70 there. So that's 70 long. I hit escape to deselect. So that's how my content libraries can help me. Now you'll notice, look, it's actually placed that bolt through the section. So if I just used, let's say, a standard erase on there. So if I went there, clicked on that bolt, and actually hit delete on the keyboard, it leaves a great big gap right in the middle of my L section. But if I undo that and actually go to modify and utilize power erase, because these are two intelligent objects, if I click on the bolt now and then right click, it leaves the section in place, because that is also an intelligent object in AutoCAD Mechanical 2010. So I'll just undo that and bring that back. So as you can see, content libraries are fantastic in AutoCAD Mechanical 2010. I'll just close that content library like that now, and I'll just drag across a little bit and zoom in a bit so we can see what we're doing. So you can see there I can now add, for example, let's say a nut to that. So I go to nut here, there's my hex nuts there, and what I'm going to do is just add a hex nut to the bottom of my actual bolt on the drawing. So I'm going to go for a front view, the insertion point there, I'll zoom in, and what I want is that intersection coming across there. I want it there. So what I'll do is I'll do a shift and a right click, and what I want there is an apparent intersection. So I'll go from there, coming across to here, there it is there. Insertion point, and what I'll do is I'll pick a point there as well. Rotation angle is 0, enter, and it's going to be an M10 again, and I'll finish that, and that's dropped that in there. Now because I've picked there and there, you can see it's put it in the wrong place. No problem at all there. I'll just undo that and I can easily remove it. No problem at all. But you can see there that I can just add information as and when. It's so easy to do. So your CAD Manager head with your content libraries should work wonders within your organization. You've got all of this standard content in your content libraries at your disposal. And I've only shown you a really, really simple setup there. You can generate so many different parts using fasteners, using holes, using shafts. There's tools there for things like chains and belts, springs, and also steel shapes. So that inserts a steel shape from the content library. If I click there, it opens up the content library again, but at the steel shapes section. So I'll close that there like so. So utilize your content libraries. They will allow you to, again, standardize, be consistent, be productive, be effective, and be profitable.